And Florida Senator Marco Rubio, the son of Cuban immigrants, calling President Obama the worst negotiator and insisting that Congress will never lift the embargo.
This entire policy shift announced today is based on an illusion, on a lie. The lie and the illusion that more commerce and access to money and goods will translate to political freedom for the Cuban people. All this is going to do is give the Castro regime, which controls every aspect of Cuban life, the opportunity to manipulate these changes to perpetuate itself in power.
And joining us from Florida, Cuban Board Representative Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, and she's also the first Hispanic woman in Congress, and Congressman-elect Carlos Curbelo. Congresswoman, first to you. Your thoughts as Alan Gross comes home and the possibility of a normalization with Cuba?
Well, first of all, we're always elated when an American gets to come home. So I congratulate Alan Gross. He got his freedom. He got to spend Hanukkah with his family. That's wonderful news. What is not wonderful news is that the families of the Brothers to the Rescue shoot down, those four wonderful American patriots, they are spending yet one more Christmas without their loved ones, and they died at the hands of Fidel and Raul Castro. What is sad is that tomorrow the Cuban people will wake up and they will still have no political freedom. They will have no human rights to be respected. There are no political parties that exist in Cuba. That has not changed. Obama has given away the store, has given everything to the Castro regime. Of course the regime is happy. We got nothing in return.
Congressman-elect Curbelo, you are a new generation of Cuban American. Your generation, does it feel in South Florida, does it feel the same way as sort of the older generation, or do they looking forward to some sort of normalization?
We all want the same thing for the Cuban people. We all want the same thing for the United States, and that's a strong America that leads and a free Cuba. And nothing that happened today gets us closer to those goals. The President of the United States has made every American serving abroad less safe today. He's provided a blueprint for dictators throughout the world. If you want to extract unilateral concessions from the United States, all you have to do is hold an American hostage and be patient. We have given Cuba everything at the president's disposal for Alan Gross. We're happy that he's back. We're happy that he's back. But Alan Gross wins today. That's a good thing. The Cuban government wins, but U.S. national security loses. Freedom and democracy throughout the world lose.
Congresswoman, was our foreign policy with Cuba working? We have this 1996 act where we have this embargo, and I guess the president is trying to sort of soften up some aspects of it. I'm not even sure that the law allows him to do it like he's doing it, but that's a whole other debate. But was our foreign policy working?
Well, you bring up a good point about him possibly breaking the law. I believe that he has broken the law. There are 3 laws that he's violated. We can debate that at another time, and we're going to do investigation about the clarity of how he got the mission to do this. But what it shows, Greta, when you ask a key question, has our policy been working? Well, the policy of 190 other countries who have been wheeling and dealing and going to tourist trips and doing everything with Castro, they have not brought Cuba any closer to freedom or democracy. So it's not that the United States policy has not worked. The other policy of engagement has not worked. And in fact, what President Obama has done today, normalizing relations, that will not bring the Cuban people any closer to democracy either, because the one that will not change is the Cuban communist, dictatorial, authoritarian regime. And we can't get that through our heads. These guys are not going to change.
Congressman-elect, let me ask you, I started to ask you before about men and women your age. You're in your early 30s, if I remember from the last time we talked. Do they feel the same way you do about it, or is that more of an older generation thing as we look towards Cuba?
Yeah, Greta, I told you, our generation wants the same thing that all generations living in this country want. We want to see the Cuban people free. My parents were born in Cuba. They had to leave. My grandfather served a political sentence, prison sentence in Cuba. So we feel it in our hearts. And today, we're very sad because we feel that for the first time in this 56-year-long drama that the Cuban people have lived, for the first time, the person in the White House is on the wrong side of history. We want the President of the United States to stand with the Cuban people. We want the President of the United States to stand with those heroes that are sitting in Castro's jails today, and we want the President of the United States to stand for a strong United States that leads with a clear voice and with moral authority, and that is not what happened today. And we shouldn't be surprised, Greta, because this is the same president that's at the table with the Iranians. This is the same president that draws red lines and ignores them. So what happened today is alarming, but it's not surprising.
Thank you to both for joining us.